Listen, if you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans.
In the ever-evolving landscape of political commentary and cultural debate, where there will always be two distinctive views, those in support and those against. In a world of media where everyone is entitled to their opinions and thoughts, where freedom of speech is allowed, there will always be those pushing an agenda and those refuting it. Few moments capture national attention like a high-profile clash between two influential figures. One of such exchange unfolded in early 2025 between Karoline Leavitt, a rising star in conservative politics, and the newly appointed White House press secretary under Donald Trump's administration, and Whoopi Goldberg, the legendary actress and co-host of The View. Their verbal sparring wasn't a direct, live-on-TV showdown, but rather an intense back-and-forth that played out through press briefings, media commentary, and social platforms. The subject: ideas circumferencing around the new setting of the press and White House's press room, and the continuous battle on wokeness, a term that has morphed from a rallying cry for social justice into a political lightning rod. This incident became a flashpoint in the ongoing culture war, reflecting deeper divides within American society. Since becoming viral, this incident serves as a case study in effective communication, the power of competence, and the art of turning a heated debate into a captivating spectacle, as well as the use of logic, facts, and wit. But what exactly did Karoline Leavitt say? Let's explore this confrontation from every angle.
And this is why, of course, she's on The View and not working for the most powerful man in the world, because Karoline would wipe the floor with you bitter banshees any day.
From its inception to the end. You sure don't want to miss this one out. First, let's hit the ground running in the background of both figures, Karoline Leavitt and Whoopi Goldberg. Who are Karoline Leavitt and Whoopi Goldberg? To fully appreciate this clash, it's essential to know the figures involved. Karoline Claire Leavitt is an American political aide and government official who has been serving as the White House press secretary in the second Trump administration since January 2025. She is the 36th and youngest White House press secretary in history, at just 27 years. Leavitt was a presidential writer and assistant press secretary during the first Trump administration. In 2022, she ran for the U.S. House of Representatives in New Hampshire's 1st District, winning the Republican nomination before losing in the general election to Democratic incumbent Chris Pappas. She was a spokesperson for MAGA Inc., a pro-Trump super PAC, independent expenditure-only political action committees, earning a reputation as a staunch defender of Trump's policies and a fierce critic of progressive ideals. And in 2025, at just 27 years old, she became the youngest White House press secretary in history, a move that drew both praise and criticism. As a representative of a new generation of conservative voices, Leavitt has built a reputation for her articulate defense of conservative principles and her ability to engage with opponents and give articulated answers in high-pressure environments and situations. On the other hand is Karen Elaine Johnson, known professionally as Whoopi Goldberg. She is an American actor, comedian, author, and television personality. The recipient of numerous accolades, she is one of few people to receive an Emmy Award, Grammy Award, Academy Award, and Tony Award, collectively known as the EGOT. Goldberg began her career on stage in 1983 with her one-woman show, Spook Show, which transferred to Broadway under the title Whoopi Goldberg, running from 1984 to 1985. As an entertainment mogul, she is highly prolific as they come, winning numerous accolades and starring in numerous movies and TV shows over the years. Since joining and co-hosting The View, in 2007, in its 11th season, entertainment icon Whoopi Goldberg has become a political commentator. She's known for her sharp wit, progressive views, and fearless approach to tackling controversial topics. Goldberg has long been an advocate for social justice, women's rights, and LGBTQ+ issues, making her a powerful voice on the left. For many who know, The View is an American talk show. Currently in its 28th season, the show has aired on ABC, as part of the network's daytime programming block since August 11, 1997. The show features a multi-generational panel of women who discuss the day's hot topics, such as socio-political, entertainment, and cultural news. In addition to the conversation segments, the panel also conducts interviews with prominent figures, such as celebrities and politicians. Its current lineup of panel includes Joy Behar, entertainer Whoopi Goldberg, lawyer Sunny Hostin, television host Sarah Haynes, television personality Anna Navarro, and political strategist Alyssa Farah Griffin. Users' review on The View is on a horrible low of 2.8. While some viewers may find it engaging, many criticize its perceived negativity, talk down, oral bully, and lack of diverse perspectives. Some viewers find the show's discussions to be overly negative and combative, rather than constructive. But the world of entertainment wouldn't care any less. The incident began on January 28, 2025, when Leavitt held her first official White House press briefing. Addressing reporters, she announced a new policy halting federal grants for diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) programs. She framed this move as part of the administration's effort to curb woke ideology in government agencies. Leavitt's exact words quickly made headlines. "We're ending taxpayer funding for radical woke policies that prioritize identity politics over American values. No more funding for transgenderism, climate change social engineering, or DEI bureaucracy." This administration believes in merit, not woke indoctrination. Her comments drew immediate praise from conservative media, who hailed her as a bold, unapologetic voice, pushing back against progressive cultural dominance. At the same time, liberal commentators criticized her language, arguing that it dismissed marginalized communities and painted a distorted picture of social justice initiatives. Leavitt also stated that the Trump administration is set to open access for new media voices, which include independent journalists, podcasters, content creators, and social media influencers to cover press briefings in the White House press room. She added that application for credentials will have to be made by these potential new press media voices, and her team would review them and give credentials to applicants who meet criteria and pass necessary requirements. 2 days later, Whoopi Goldberg addressed Leavitt's remarks during a heated segment on The View. With characteristic bluntness, Goldberg criticized Leavitt's stance and challenged her understanding of wokeness. She made comments that were critical of a particular conservative stance or figure, comments that quickly gained traction in the media. She pointed out that Leavitt's declaration on wokeness pissed her off. Goldberg's response went viral. "Let me explain something to you, Karoline. Without that so-called wokeness, you might not have that job. Women like me fought for women like you to have a seat at the table. So before you slam progress, maybe think about how you got here. Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this, and now to hear you talk about it, and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness. The wokeness was put in place for a reason, because black people couldn't get into colleges, because women could not get into the colleges they wanted to go to. This is all women. See, this is not black Asian women. This is all women. Women were not invited to this party. It was a man's world, and we busted our ass to make sure that this was a person's world." Goldberg's point was rooted in historical context. She reminded viewers that civil rights movements, feminist waves, and LGBTQ+ activism, all of which embody elements of wokeness, paved the way for young women like Leavitt to rise in political ranks. She pointed out Joe Biden's White House press secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, who was the first black person and first openly LGBTQ person to be appointed to the role, as an example for women of all kinds of colors and ilks to have the opportunity to bust down that door. Her words sparked a firestorm. Progressives applauded Goldberg for educating Leavitt on the systemic struggles that enabled her success, while conservatives dismissed the segment as a condescending attack. Fellow co-host Joy Behar added to the petty insult by insinuating that Leavitt only got her appointment as the press secretary to Trump because she was hot. In her words, she's probably being put in there because according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. Also, Leavitt's statement on the new media setting didn't go unchallenged. though co-host Alyssa Griffin and Sarah Haynes saw the idea as brilliant, a way to curb misinformation and disinformation. It was all right for social media influencers and podcasters to obtain first-hand information and national news. They thought it was perfect and recommended future Democrats to do the same. But there'll always be opposing views. Sonia Hostin highlighted the part of applicants meeting criteria and refitted it, saying, "Their criteria is awfully deficient and unserious." Leavitt didn't stay silent. Within hours, she responded on social media and later addressed Goldberg's comments in a Fox News interview. Whoopi Goldberg thinks wokeness gave me this job. No, hard work, competence, skills, merits, values, and love of country did. I'm here despite the left's constant attempts to tear down young conservatives like me. Whoopi and her friends want Americans to believe they owe their success to progressive ideology. But that's nonsense. Voters do not agree with the despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch and should seek immediate help. One of the standout features of Leavitt's response was her use of humor. Rather than resorting to personal attacks or inflammatory language, she employed wit to highlight the inconsistencies in Goldberg's arguments. Leavitt reframed the narrative, portraying Goldberg's comments as an attempt to undermine her accomplishments. This resonated deeply with conservative audiences who view attacks from Hollywood figures like Goldberg as emblematic of liberal elitism.
Absolutely not. Let me be unequivocally clear about that. And watching this clip, I couldn't help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years. They likened President Trump to Hitler. They have mocked him. They have shamed him. They have lied about him consistently on their show. And it was a joy to watch them on November the 6th when they realized that tens of millions of Americans do not listen to the lies that they have spewed. These women are completely out of touch with reality.
The media exploded with takes from both sides. Right-wing outlets like Fox News and The Daily Wire praised Leavitt for standing up to Hollywood hypocrisy and framed Goldberg's remarks as condescending and dismissive of conservative women. While liberal outlets like MSNBC and HuffPost celebrated Goldberg's rebuttal, portraying Leavitt as ignorant of the historical movements that allowed women and marginalized groups to break barriers. Independent commentators dissected the exchange, with some acknowledging Goldberg's historical accuracy while still defending Leavitt's right to challenge progressive norms. Social media buzzed with hashtags like Whoopi vs. Leavitt and Woke Debate 2025. The incident became a proxy battle for broader cultural and political divisions. The Goldberg-Leavitt exchange wasn't a personal spat. It embodied the ongoing culture war over wokeness and national identity and opinion diversity. The clash between Karoline Leavitt and Whoopi Goldberg symbolizes America's ongoing cultural divide. Leavitt, a young conservative, criticized woke policies, prompting Goldberg to remind her that progressives fought for the very opportunities she enjoys. Their exchange highlights a generational rift. Goldberg sees wokeness as essential for equality, while Leavitt views it as overreach, valuing individual merit. This debate reflects deeper tensions over identity, success, and the American dream, whether achievements stem from personal effort or collective struggles to dismantle systemic barriers. Ultimately, it's a microcosm of the broader fight over the meaning of progress and freedom. Who won the debate? It's tempting to declare a winner, but in reality and in matters concerning media, it's up to those who are willing to stand by their own thoughts and hold their ground. Both Leavitt and Goldberg did that, especially Leavitt, who didn't back down. She solidified her image as a rising conservative star, willing to take on media giants, energizing Trump's base, irrespective of the fact that Goldberg reaffirmed her role as a progressive cultural commentator, reminding viewers of the historical struggles behind today's rights and freedoms. More importantly, the conversation they sparked endures. The clash between tradition and progress, individuality and collective responsibility, freedom and equity, these debates are far from over. In the end, the Leavitt-Goldberg exchange is less about who won and more about what it revealed. A nation still deeply divided on what it means to pursue the American dream. Share your thought with us on the comment section. Remember to like, share and subscribe for more videos.